Tempest.
This ad break also being brought to you by Tempest, or by Twix. Also by Tempest. Tempest and Twix at the same time. They're teaming up to bring you an ad break. I figured it wouldn't make much sense to just like show the draft happening and then not talk about it. But then I realized it probably wouldn't make as much sense. It would probably make even less sense to just sit here in a between game screen and not say anything. So I'm done for now anyway. Let's talk about the draft. The Revenant and Parasite, first couple of bands. As we were looking at a tied series with TwFu going for an early victory in Game 1. Solaire Club with a strong landing phase, turning that into a sudden team fight destruction, and then Mega Creeps about 2 minutes later. So, TwFu CC out of that game, and thus we are tied. First two bans for TwFu are Revenant and Parasite, so they're really afraid of that Revenant for reasons I'm not sure about. Cthulhu and Switchblade, the first two bans from Solaire Club. Pretty typical for the Hellborn side, as they want neither of those to end up in the hands of the Legion team. Legion then going to bang out to pick up Silhouette, Kraken, and Empath. Hellborn going to start out with Rhapsody, Gauntlet, and Tempest. Bans are Bubbles, Dr. Repulsor, and Flux on the Legion side, so taking out those initiators, including Dr. Repulsor, who is more of a carry, but can definitely be in pseudo-initiator-ish. He doesn't want to be the first guy in the fight, but he doesn't hate it so much as other carries might, and he can definitely be one of the earlier guys in the fight. Magma's Torture and Pharaoh getting taken up by Gisman, so the one support option. This was Fusion, of course, ran 2 supports last game, so figuring might as well remove another one. And obviously as well, obviously taking out a couple of strong initiators as well that could be paired with the Kraken. Both Magmus and Pharaoh go well with that hero, so bans generally making sense. Strong heroes getting taken out of the pool, and heroes that would fit either team. Bubbles Tempest strong, Flux Tempest strong, Dr. Repulsor just good hero. And Hellborn side will end up with the Balfagor as their 4th pick. Legion side pick up Solstice, and we're waiting on their 5th selection. So we're going to see a Woods Solstice, which is a hero that we don't see picked up too often. Kind of on the fence about him. I don't think he starts all that well, but he does gank decently. Oh, god damn it, Twisted Fusion. Alright, let's leave that alone for a second. Solstice does gank decently, and one of the few jungle heroes that can provide realistic carry potential. Warbeast perhaps the only other one that scales even nearly as well as, or Solstice and Warbeast perhaps the only 2 jungle heroes that really scale all that well. Jungle Bloodhunter, I guess, is a thing. Jungle Doctor is a thing, but it's not really something you see very often. Those heroes are the vast majority of the time we see them in lane. Warbeast, most of the time we see in lane too, but obviously is a very capable jungler. However, we're going to finish off with Balfagor and Defiler, so definitely a push lineup on the side of Solaire Club, and we'll see if the Legion team can handle this. They do have this Solstice, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a max Illuminate. They also have Cosmic Cleave from Salamon, so they've got some stuff that can deal with this. The problem is, this is greedy. This is like a super greedy lineup from Twisted Fusion, especially going up against what looks like an all-in push strategy from the Hellborn team. They have 4 cores that all need a ton of farm. I mean, this is going to be a Suicide Salomon because for some reason they think this is a good idea and it's just not. But they keep doing it because I don't understand. I really don't. I don't like Salomon as a hero. I don't think he fits in this metagame. He needs too many items. He can't even always carry at 800 GPM. He's the only carry that can't carry at 800 GPM. We've seen him lose at like 750, 800 GPM. It's kind of insane. Because he only has, like, his abilities let him farm super fast, but then he needs so many items so quickly to get anything done that it doesn't always matter. So, yeah, woohoo, you get more gold. Doesn't matter if you can't do anything with it. And Silhouette, obviously going to need a crap ton of items. Solstice is going to be taking the entire jungle, so she's not going to be able to farm it very consistently. Kraken in the middle lane, you need a Portal Key Plus. Probably you need a Soul's Bulwark on top. Shrunken Head going to be very important, especially against this team. Balfagor, Tempest, the Gauntlet, not so much. Rhapsody a bit against the Sagados, but 4 heroes, really, that need a lot of farm. So it's a good thing that their support isn't greedy as well, but they're going up against a team that's going to get aggressive and going to get very aggressive early in team fights. So they're going to have to win their lanes. They're going to have to win at least 2 lanes, and they definitely have the capacity to do that. Kraken, an extremely strong laner, and Silhouette is as well. Solomon in the top lane is going to get crushed, so that's bad, but they're going to have to do very, very well. And if they don't, they're going to lose real fast. If they do, they could even lose because they're just not going to be online until like 40 to 45 minutes in. After that, they're going to be unstoppable. but this is kind of a crappy build in my opinion. It's very much a TMM game. Like, oh, just pick a bunch of heroes that make sense in lane. It doesn't really matter how well they fit together. It doesn't really matter how much farm each of them needs. We'll just pick heroes that make sense in their lanes, and they don't even make sense in their lanes because you have a suicide for Solomon. Anyway, Empath completely whiffing the wall. Army of Ums on the suicide battlefield where we've seen him do this before. It didn't work out very well last time. I think he got absolutely destroyed. I don't know, maybe it'll work this time. I'm going to put the Regurgitate up on the Empath, who's going to take a lot of damage. She, of course, has level 1 wall, so no Essence Link. And this is why you don't skill a point until later when you play Empath. Because the wall's doing a fair bit here, but if she had an Essence Link, she probably would have had a kill right there. Or earlier. And instead, Balfour we're going to be allowed to sit here and kind of hang around a little bit. But, I mean, level 1 Essence Link on Empath is what makes her a good zoning support. And if you have a particularly strong kill lane, like you're in mid, or if you have a better lane partner than Solaire for killing stuff, you might want to go level 1 wall, or if you're in a different situation where you have a squishier opposing hero, you might want to go level 1 wall, but in this type of matchup, you pretty much want to guarantee level 1 Essence Link. And, nope, I don't want to play the Spivey one tomorrow. Anyway, this be a stun out onto the Balf, and yeah, wall gonna help finish him off. Empath actually gets a bloodlust kill, so Army of Mums, no huge surprise. Suicide Balfagor is dying. I'm kind of surprised that Suicide Solomon hasn't died quite yet, but Rhapsody apparently having some issues zoning out this Solomon, who is currently out of regen, so she's apparently used 1 Staccato? Maybe 2? How much does this mana cost? 100, so maybe 2. Must have been 2. And here's another one. And she will continue to just go down with the same thing. She can sit here and trade autos, because Solomon's out of regen, so she's got a bunch of trees, and she's just like, alright, this is fine. I will continue to auto-attack you, and you're not going to be very happy about this, because you're completely forced in a lane. So now that you have a Solomon that has no farm, and no ability to farm whatsoever, middle lane actually just went dying on the gauntlet, as he gets jumped. So here comes Empath and Solstice. Solstice with Blinding Rush, yep. And it's going to be a charge into the woods, and Sislink also doing a ton of damage, and Saxy Scale on the Solstice picks up the kill, so not bad stuff at all. Kraken in the middle lane, currently sitting at 350 gold per minute, just been at just 180, so even before that kill, Kraken definitely winning this lane, and will continue to do so, it looks like, as he's getting a lot more CS, nearly 200 GPM over this gauntlet, so this is what Twisted Fusion need to do, and they need to keep it up, because in about 10 minutes, the Death Ball push is going to show up, and it's going to be very difficult for them to do anything about what the Hellborn are going to bring to the table. Solomon has boots and the shield still, but again, out of regen, and there's a word of sight here from that Solomon, so not going to be helping Rhapsody out too much, but we'll just continue to drop the autos, the staccatos, everything, continuing to just absolutely wreck the Solomon. Wave of Death does not connect. Army bumps the bottom lane, falling once again, so let's go look at that. Sorry, I missed it. I'm not watching my minimap because I'm a very bad caster. But, Blinding Rush, walls there, they don't even have to die the tower, and yeah, there's a kill. So, Empath getting another kill. That's probably one that they could have tried a little bit harder to give to Silhouette or to Solstice, but either way, it's fine. And Solstice showing that not only can he jungle relatively effectively, he can also be an active jungler, which is something that you look for in a hero. So another hero, along with the Gesture last game, that I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more often. I think Solstice has a little bit more potential than what we've seen so far. And unfortunately getting a little bit outshined in the woods is Nubik. Nubik is on Tempest, and Tempest is one of Nubik Noob's best heroes. So he's a very good Tempest player. Middle lane, Rhapsody rotating with an Illusion Rune, and the hook's going to be there. Are they going to have enough range for the Staccatos? I don't think so. Enfeeble's slowing to Kraken down a little bit, but he still has boots, so just not enough to get Rhapsody in range. Solomon continuing to pick up some levels here, but again, he's just not getting any seeds. He's not going to do anything. I don't know, man. Defiler gets a Ring of Sorcery, so that's one. I wouldn't be surprised to see two. Yeah, Tempest currently has the Mark of the Novice, so I expected that to be a second Ring of Sorcery. And Army of Bums dying. I should just sit on Army of Bums the entire time. As Essence Link is there, along with the stun, and I'm kind of surprised they're going to have the damage to finish off the Death Lotus, I suppose, doing a lot. So Army of Mums taking his third death, 0-3-0. Now he's 58 GPM below the tick. Stanmarch has 0 CS and has a higher GPM than Army of Mums does. And this is more or less what happened last time he tried to play Suicide Valve. It was awful. So TwFu continuing to do what they need to do. They need to have an advantageous laning phase. They need to get an early PK probably on Kraken and have him gank pretty consistently so that Salomon and Silhouette can farm their various items. I would imagine Solstice not really going to be occupying too much of a carry role. In middle lane, actually, Kraken ultimate not going to do too much, and the Solstice charge will be stopped by the Staccatos, but they're going to turn this on to Rhapsody. She will be in a lot of trouble. Level 6 Kraken, only level 1 on Stanmarch, but here comes Tempest. Tempest ultimate, yep, going to catch both of them. Will they have enough damage to kill anything here is the question. Kraken is really tanky, and they're focusing. They still will get this kill. Here comes Defiler as well. Lockdown onto Solstice is sufficient as the Staccato stuns help kill him, so Canada picking up that last kill. Ring of Sorcery will be finished on Tempest, who missed the burst from Defiler, so sad times for him, but will have his own ring momentarily, so that'll be nice. And that's going to be 2 Rings of Sorcery, and we saw this in the last series, PI versus Izu. PI actually taking a 14-minute victory, as they managed to kill the Shrine before the Legion team could even concede against Izu. And they did a similar thing, the double Ring of Sorcery. I said to Enthos in that game, I liked seeing it. I hoped they would do it. I wouldn't even minded having seen a triple Ring of Sorcery, and I feel pretty similarly about this game. If Balfagor decides to go Ring of Sorcery, I'm not going to be against that. I mean, there's a bunch of really heavy mana users on this Hellborn team, and they could definitely benefit from just having continuously spammed AoE mana increases, as not going to be enough damage onto this Solomon. I don't think they really have the lockdown. So this is going to turn this into a push. I don't really want to use the Defiler ultimate quite yet. Wave of Death actually can connect on the Solomon. He's going to be taking a fair bit of damage. He needs to be kind of careful about this. I don't think he can be here. If he steps up, he's going to get Glacial Blasted and dead. He does have an ultimate, I guess. But and we'll take the tower down, and Noob gets credited with the kill. And now they still have Defiler ultimate for the tier 2 tower, so wouldn't be surprised if they continue this push. They also have a double Hell Cannon wave, which is quite advantageous, of course. And yep, there goes the Defiler ultimate. Looks like we'll be seeing a tier 2 tower kill. This shouldn't be hard. Nothing that Salomon can do about this. He's got the Cosmic Cleave, which will... Sorry, he's level 4. I don't know why I say it an ultimate. He clearly does not. So, 2 towers go down, and we're starting to see the push activity. Looks like they're going to start rotating mid as well. The Defiler ultimate will be expiring in a couple of seconds. Yeah, now it's gone. 70 more seconds on the cooldown. Middle lane actually Kraken ultimate right on top of the Gauntlet. He'll going to counter with the Gauntlet Blast. We'll see if he can get out of this. Looks like he can. Throws the hook even, trying to get aggressive, and doesn't hit anything, which is probably fortuitous because I don't think that he really wanted to continue to get aggressive there. But Balfagor will roam mid, and he's going to drop his minions as well. Of course, level 5, so not max level minions quite yet, but should have those pretty soon. And they're going to turn this into a mid-tower push as well. So here come the Tempest Elementals. They're going to use the wall to block this out a little bit. And again, solid D-push. They got the Illuminate for Solstice, or they were supposed to. They don't, because he didn't level that, and it's nighttime anyway, so it doesn't actually matter. But they're going to lose another tier 1 tower in the middle lane. They try to deny, Empath unable to do so. Not a huge surprise. Solstice here sort of looking to do something, and it's not going to happen. Wall is again proving to be aggravating, and Gauntlet's hook not going to be anywhere close to anybody. But Defiler ultimate back up in 10 seconds, and Rhapsody drops a dance floor for the Balfagor minions. Just like, what do you do about this? You gotta do something, and it's going to involve bringing Silhouette and Solomon down here. You cannot just let them keep taking your towers like this. Defiler again, not even having to pop her ultimate at the tier 2 tower. They're going to continue this push. Defiler level 7, Cyril has her level 1 ultimate, and no, they're not going to continue this push. I was kind of figuring that they would. I was kind of hoping that they would. Well, Silhouette kind of pushes the bottom tower, which is not bad, but yeah, not feeling great if you're Twisted Fusion. Because here comes a Death Ball. It's headed bottom. It has another tower set in its sights. This tower has taken no damage, and let's find out how long it takes for them to kill it. I'm guessing not very long. Now the disadvantage is that since they're always grouped up, they're going to be at an experience deficit, and as you can already see, Twisted Fusion taking that lead. But Solaire Club having a pretty solid gold advantage, and they're willing to take that, especially because of the advantage they're going to get in terms of map control. TwFu going to have absolutely no towers, and again, super greedy drafts on the Legion side. They won't be able to farm their own woods, so there are ways to stop push heavy drafts. This is not one of them. You need a strong laning phase, and you need a strong mid game, because that's when push drafts are strong. Right after the laning phase, exactly now, is when push drafts are strong. And they're going to continue to split push. So, I mean, they're doing the right thing. I'm not criticizing TwFu's strategy in this game at all. They're absolutely making the right calls. They cannot fight this death ball right now. It's going to push way faster than them, which is a problem, but they need to do what they can before they start having their base threatened. Because there's really nothing that they can do to defend these towers. They managed to finish off all the tier 1s. They're going to push tier 2 middle, and they might actually get this. The problem is, as I just said, they're not going to push as fast as the Hellborn side will, so they're going to turn this into a bot tier 3 push, it looks like, on the Hellborn side, as they realize very quickly we can get racks before the Legion team can. And there goes the Defiler ultimate, still hadn't been used, and now this tower is going to get wrecked. They're going to use the Glyph Fortification, they're bringing 3 heroes back, everybody else is pouring back in, and there's going to be a fight at a tier 3 here. The question is, do they have enough? They're going to need a big SolC ultimate. He's charging up. Are they going to back off in time? Not really. 2 heroes get caught by it, but really not all that much damage. Release Kraken also not catching too much. Gauntlet going to be instant trouble. Already taking the Astrolabe heal. Here comes the Tempest ultimate. Not going to cancel. On to 4 heroes, and there's the Wave of Death right on top of it as well. HoN Tour doing a ton of damage. 3 heroes dead right off the bat. Only Empath and Solomon alive right now. Solomon trying to get back away. Has already used his ultimate. If he gets locked down, he's going to die. Empath, of course, still levels 5. Has no as 1, so if she gets locked down, she'll be falling also, just from throwing out a hook there, and does not connect anything. Kraken buying back, looking to try to stop this push a little bit, but they just can't do it. The heals are too much, the mana regeneration is too much. We still don't have a 3rd mana ring, but I think that's fine. They're going to instead Kraken to jump on top of this Balfagor, but just way too much follow-up. The hail from the dance floor is huge. Infernal instability onto Empath in the background. Perhaps the ultimate going to save any damage. Warcat on that Empath is going to fall, and that's going to be a bot racks, it looks like, as the respawns are happening, but they just don't have enough damage or tankiness to survive this. The Hellborn, meanwhile, have the continuous heals from the Astrolabe and the Rhapsody dance floor, plus the massive amounts of mana coming back in. Just going to hit yet another hook. There are the staccatos, and there goes Slot on that Solomon, and I'm worried. Defiler picking up the Icon of Goddess. I love that choice. They're obviously getting super aggressive, super early, and they're going to be continuing to fight, and they'll probably be continuing to win these team fights at least for the next 10-15 minutes. And I mean, that Icon pickup means that Solaire Club realize they have an aggressive draft. They have to continue to be aggressive. They have an early advantage, and they can continue to press it. So he is not in sort of any delusion about where this team is headed. They're going to go for Kongor, which is obviously also a solid decision. They've taken massive control of this map, and they can take a pretty safe Kongor here. There's no vision whatsoever for the Legion side. So Solaire Club resetting, not stopping. They're waiting for some of their cooldowns to come back. Defiler ultimate already there. Tempest ultimate about a minute and a half away. So I'm betting that by the time they kill Kongor, push down middle a little bit, that Tempest ultimate will be back, and so will the Rhapsody ultimate for that matter. So that'll be their cue to go into another fight. Empath will going to spot them out here, but it's not going to matter. Candor picks up a token, and actually SolC's ultimate doing a lot. Rhapsody going to fall right off the bat. We'll see if they can kill the Tempest. Doesn't look like they can. In the background, Just Man doing a lot. Defiler ultimate is up, so that's going to be down for their next push. Silhouette is going to try to kite them away a little bit, has the illusion swaps out to it, so that'll be the end of that. They kill the Rhapsody. They don't kill anything else. Release Kraken, actually, that's not the end of that. Release Kraken onto Gauntlet, and the Empath wall is there as well. We'll get the stun on a Gauntlet, and Gauntlet's going to fall here. Tempest in some trouble. Defiler in the middle of this trying to do something, but Solomon ulti breaks, and now Defiler realizing pretty quickly it's not a great time. McNoob also dying in the background. They're not getting any counter kills. Solomon is trying to run away, and it looks like he will be able to survive despite the Balfagor minions chasing him down. Background, Cannondorf, despite how tanky he is, he cannot survive against the damage. Rhapsody's here, though, to save the day, and Solomon, or sorry, SolC's getting locked down. Rhapsody in some trouble, but they're going to get SolC says yes, they will. Hook goes through. I don't know if Defiler was in range for that. She was not, so she does not get the Gift of the Goddess. She's going to try to get something onto this Empath. She will get the Gift of the Goddess for that. She still does have the 4-minute token of life, so whew. all sorts of crazy shit going down there. Looks like Silhouette will be just fine. They're not going to pursue her anymore, so Tempest Ultimate is back online. Defiler Ultimate 30 seconds away. Balfagore's HoN Tour is a bit later, but they don't need that nearly as much as they need everything else. Gauntlet Blast also back up in 5 seconds, so they might look to steal Ancients. They might just look to take Creep Farm for maybe 10 seconds or so until Defiler is ready to go again. But yeah, okay, oh, regen. I was going to say, she just needs to go heal and then come back and it'll be fine, but picks up the Regen Rune instead. And yeah, by the time they're ready to break the space, which is pretty much now, they will have Defiler Ultimate back up. It's back up in 5 seconds, so yeah, it's available essentially now. HoN Tour, the only thing that's currently offline, but that's not that big of a deal, as I said. And top lane, so what going to do some split pushing once again. Balfagore and Gauntlet will defend that, so Defiler in the middle lane. Perhaps going to get caught out. Kraken looking for something here, and here comes Tempest as well, though, so actually Solstice going to provide some vision. Essence Link is there, will stun out the Defiler. Release of Kraken isn't going to get dropped quite yet because it's not off cooldown. I was wondering, I was waiting for it, like, drop the ultimate, try to kill her. She's by herself, you know 2 of them are top, you could take this fight, and instead, nothing happened, but that's because there was cooldown. So, speaking of cooldowns, Empath Ultimate going to be down for this next fight, but it looks like Hellborn's side are grouping up in the top lane. Defiler Ultimate also going to be down for this next fight, but Defiler Ultimate has a relatively consistent uptime thanks to the duration as well as the cooldown being not particularly long. So another minute and it will be back. But Solomon going to charge in. Yeah, I was going to say, that's not a great plan, buddy. Silence goes through. It doesn't hit anybody, but not that big of a deal. Relatively short cooldown. Thing's got such a huge AoE as well. Yeah, level 2 Ultimate Defiler is going to be a major difference. Gauntlet Hook, not going to connect, so Kraken, nice dodge. And once again, Hellborn's side going to group up and push this. 2 minutes on the token for Defiler, so yeah, I mean, they're not waiting for Defiler 11, but honestly, if they take their team fight here, she could hit 11 before her ultimate comes back up anyway. And I'm not sure if they needed to push this tower. They have so much strong push with the Tempest, the Rhapsody, and the Balfagore that I'm not convinced they even need it. I mean, it's nice, it's very helpful, especially for breaking high ground, but as you can see, they really haven't engaged too much for right off the bat, and this tower's already at half health, so Defiler, not too far away from level 11, I would imagine. She's got a minute and a half left on this token, so I'm going to have to use it. Anyway, Gauntlet Blast going to be on the Kraken. We'll get hooked back, and going to be an immediate kill into him. Yep, I give for the goddess there. Ultimate from Rhapsody stopping all the damage. They can't stop it. Solstice going to stop it eventually, but the HoN Tour as well comes through. Gauntlet finally dies, but there goes Slot. Defiler hits level 11 and pops the ultimate. Tempest Ultimate not going to be canceled, and they're killing everything. Silhouette, that was just a fake, and Empath is inside of her. Pause goes through it, but we're going to skip straight through it, so that'll be fine. And Silhouette, how do you defend this by herself? It's not going to happen. Solstice does buy back, as does Solomon, but Solomon has no ultimate, so we'll see if they can do anything here. Doesn't look like it. Silhouette in the background actually falling as a result of the Rhapsody staccatos, and Balfagore is in some trouble, but not nearly as much trouble as Solomon, so they get a couple more kills. Kandarov currently at 10 charges on his icon, still has a token. Charge from Solstice, and he gets stopped anyway, so not going to happen. He's going to fall. Yes. And it looks like Army of Mums will pick up the kill out of that. Release Kraken on to 3. Rhapsody could be in some trouble here. Silhouette trying to help finish her off. She has also used a buyback instant engagement. They will finally kill Stan Marsh, but that's going to be it. And there goes the Holy Mofasa on the Silhouette after the buyback dies once again. Solomon buying back for another time. Silhouette also buying back. They realize how important this is. They're desperately trying to save these racks. Defiler Ultimate is finally down, but they can't kill her. She's way too tanky. She's got that icon. She's going to get the Gift of Goddess back if they can kill this Kraken. It looks like they can. They do lose the Tempest, but that doesn't matter. Defiler's just like, I don't give any shits about anything. Balfagore in some trouble, but they're going to turn this again on the Silhouette, who has to pour out the Illusion. Illusion's going to die. It looks like Balf's dead, and they're going to turn this on a Defiler now, who actually is completely out of support, so she finally could die here if they can lock her down for long enough. Wall's going to be very helpful. Courier just flies through and gets her a nice kill. Empath with the Essence Link. Defiler Ultimate back up, and they kill Solomon. Yes, they will. Gift of the Goddess goes through, and now Defiler's just like, I don't care. Empath going to get picked off by the Gauntlet, and Solstice Ultimate gets dodged, and she was just off to the side. Now Solstice also going to fall. Gauntlet coming back in with the Silhouette, who's back up. That was not a buyback. That was just a resurrection. Or it was an illusion. She didn't die. Excuse me. But she will jump into the trees, and now she's actually in some trouble. Has no portal key, so she's going to have to get out of these trees somehow, but she's completely freaking trapped. And this is the worst thing ever. Okay, so she's finally out of the damn trees. Kraken coming back up. Still no ultimate for about 10 seconds, though. Rhapsody's back in this fight. She's got an ult. Everybody in the Hellborn side has an ult except for Defiler and Tempest and Gauntlet, too. So, in fact, just Balfagor and Rhapsody. Meantime, they will put the Wave of Death and Silence onto 2. Gauntlet, the hook, gonna miss, but Kraken getting locked down by Staccatos. Inferno Subidi's there, and Jismin will pick up the kill onto him. So, Defiler, 22 charges on the Icon. And they literally can't kill her. It was 3v1, and they couldn't kill her. Like, that was ridiculous, and they can't kill her now. They're going to try to take mid-racks. Defiler ultimately will be back up in 25 seconds. It just seems like it's constantly available because it is Solomon going to get silenced out. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. A couple auto attacks. That's going to be it. Solstice charges through the wall, but that's not the greatest plan. Perhaps the ultimate going to save Tempest, and now what are they going to do? Solstice getting locked down in the background. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. He's definitely going to fall here. Hellborn side will be able to pick off a kill. Yes, Noob finally dies. Solstice trying to live through this. Picking order for Hellborn, the last 2 picks were Balfagor, Defiler. It was Gauntlet, Rhapsody, Tempest, Balfagor, Defiler, I believe. So yeah, the early thing wasn't super push heavy anyway. They do manage to kill Salim again, and there goes Wardcat on the empath, so mid-racks are dead because the Defiler ultimate is back again. I mean, she's literally used it, I think, 3 or 4 times without leaving a Legion base. That's how often it's up. It just doesn't matter. Solomon has the ultimate, gonna jump back in. Defiler isn't good, Kinder. Anyway, Solomon's getting locked down with a Tempest ultimate. Also silenced. The Staccato stuns are there as well. Gauntlet falls in the background. I said Gauntlet. I meant Solomon is dying. Ugh. Sad times. Silhouette gonna lock down. Tree grapples away. She should be fine. She's trying. The Hoimofosa 3-5 or 7-3-5. She's having a nice time, but everybody else on this Legion team is feeding like a motherfucker. 2-7-7, 1-7-7, 1-6, and anyway, Kraken is dead again. Silhouette in the background, gonna get some jump potential. Stand March will be in some trouble as the Race Kraken did a lot of damage, but now Silhouette is silenced out. SolC of the charge into Balfagor for some reason. HoN North goes through, and Silhouette will be able to jump out with the illusion. SolC is gonna be able to get back into the well. Empath there as well. Anyway, Silhouette looking for the kill. Is going to be able to get it on a Noob, but she might pay for that, and she doesn't have an illusion. No, she does have an illusion. Never mind, she's fine. Solomon going to fall once again, and the Shrine is just dying as they're well diving on the Hellborn side. Not even because that they're being silly, they have nothing else to do. They're killing, the creeps are just killing the Shrine, and Kandorf's on a bloodbath. 11-0 and 17, 12-0 and 18, and they're going to get the win before he can get an Immortal, but that was a hell of a performance from Kandorf on the Defiler. 12-0 and 18, and obviously that was not only him. That was, in the end, a pretty fantastic team performance from the guys on Solaire Club. So, man, it felt like Twisted Fusion were absolutely unprepared for that draft. I mean, they picked a super, super greedy lineup. And in the beginning, I don't think it made all that much sense. Going this much greed after the Gauntlet and Tempest picks, and after the Balfagor as well, seemed a little bit iffy. Going this much greed in general seemed a little bit iffy, but they really got punished by that Defiler last pick, and obviously doing a ton of work. So, well played to Solaire Club, losing Game 1 in a relatively embarrassing fashion. It took them about 15 minutes for Twisted Fusion to win that game. Came back in Game 2, won the laning phase, took a solid victory, didn't get too crazy about anything, didn't overextend, just a generally decent, all-around performance, and then Game 3, just going all in on the push against a team that had pretty much no way to deal with it. So, solid drafting from Jismin, solid play from everybody in Solaire Club, and Twisted Fusion had their moments too. They obviously won Game 1, so they did not just crop their pants for this entire series, but they do lose it in the end. It was a fun game. I agree, Twitch chat. Well done. Lots of action, obviously. Basically, an extended team fight for perhaps the last 10 minutes of that game. It was just team fight. But that does it for the series. So Solaire Club taking it 2-1, and that means that they will move on to the winners bracket semifinals, and they are going to face Reason Gaming. So that's a result I've already seen, so I can go ahead and spoil it. Reason Gaming in the winners bracket semifinals. In the losers bracket round 2, the Twisted Fusion players will be dropping down, and they actually are going to be in a bye in the losers bracket round 2, thanks to the fact that losers bracket round 1 there were 2 byes. So that means that one of those byes goes to losers bracket round 2, and then Twisted Fusion gets a bye there. So they will be headed straight to the losers bracket round 3. And both of these teams obviously still alive in Gold Cycle 5 as far as we're concerned, but that will do it for this series. Solaire Club looking good, Twisted Fusion looking better than they did last cycle, but still not quite up to the standard they set with Archie Tiger and Time to Die, who have both since moved on. And yeah, okay, that's going to stop it for the recording.